Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to the show, or should I say season's greetings, because today is Christmas Day. So happy Christmas to everyone who celebrates. I wanted to put out a podcast, not only because I'm putting out 3 podcasts a week, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. If you haven't subscribed or followed already, please do, because then you won't miss one. But also because I think Christmas is a good time to obviously spend time with family and friends, but also to take stock of what's happened in the past year. I tend to like to take stock on Christmas Day, and then I can spend the week leading up to New Year planning for the year ahead. So expect an episode talking about the year ahead, how we might want to think about planning for it around New Year's. But I thought today would be a good opportunity for me to take stock of what's happened this year. I've seen a lot of creators doing this actually, where they're talking about what they achieved this year. I've seen some people who recorded a video at the end of last year almost as a time capsule, and they're watching it back this year doing a live reaction about how it is that they feel about whether they've achieved what they set out to achieve last year. And I find it really motivating. So I just wanted to talk about my own experience and what it is that I've done, not done this year, what went well, what didn't go so well, and hopefully you guys get something from it. If not, it's an opportunity for me to just talk on my own forum about the things that I've done, and also to thank everyone who has helped me out, starting first and foremost with anyone who's listening right now, anyone who has listened in the past as well, people who've been supporting from the start or people who are just supporting from now. Thank you so much for the support with the podcast. That's the first thing that I have on my list. It's a bit insane that I launched my own podcast on my own. It's not that I haven't done podcasting before. Shout out to all the guys at Art Type. Zed are alive. Maybe be coming back in 2026. Spoiler alert, potentially. But I've done podcasting before, but I didn't think that I'd launch my own one and essentially be kind of ranting online or trying to give advice or give value to people online, let alone having some like really cool guests, Leroy and Matt. I was fortunate enough to speak with them this year, and I'm hoping to have many more guests just like them next year as well. If I can get half the value that I got from these guys, then I'll be doing something right, because those are really good episodes. I'd recommend listening or watching them if you haven't already. This is actually episode 30. So I think there's a stat saying that a lot of podcasts start and die after like 12 episodes or something. Don't get me wrong, there was a brief hiatus from me because things got really intense. And I think one of the things that I've learned with podcasting is that you learn a lot more from doing than you do from planning. You can read as many articles, watch as many tutorial videos as you like, but until you do something, understanding really comes from doing things and understanding, okay, where are the holes in my knowledge? Where are the gaps? And one of the biggest gaps for me in terms of not only the podcast, but also creating content in general is planning to make content and scheduling things and making sure that I block out time to research, record, edit, schedule content. Is quite a big undertaking, but it can be made a lot more efficient if I block out that time and just do all recording for one bit and then all editing for another bit. So that's something that I learned, and I had to take a few episodes out in order to align things and get it all sorted. But 30 episodes, more or less 3 episodes every week without fail, is no small undertaking. So that's something which is quite cool to say that I've done. 3 episodes a week is a pretty serious clip. The reason I chose 3 episodes a week, I'll be completely open about it, is the guy that I really aspire to be in terms of podcasting is Chris Williamson. I think he's great. I've got so much value from him. And he posts on Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And he's been doing 3 times a week since he started, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this is undertaking the podcast, doing the podcast has been a massive learning curve, but also a massive privilege. It's really cool to see people listening. Spotify Wrapped did a Spotify Wrapped for podcasters as well. And it was cool to see like the different countries that people are listening from. I've got listeners in like the UK, but also India and Canada, which is a bit crazy, and Spain, I think, as well, which is insane. I'm in like the top something % of podcasts in terms of ratings and in terms of listening in the first season, in the first few weeks, which is pretty cool. I suppose It's a bit skewed because a lot of podcasts die out, but I'll take what I can get. And the support and appreciation does not go unseen, and I hope it doesn't go underappreciated. But if it has so far, I appreciate everyone listening, watching, viewing, engaging. I really, really appreciate it. This all links to launching a YouTube channel. So I started off wanting to do kind of tutorials and things. So I started off with a frosted glass tutorial, which I thought was quite cool, was quite fun. And then I just stopped. There was a huge hiatus for months where I just didn't do any content on YouTube. I leaned more over the summer into content on social media, short form content, vertical content, more so. But obviously the frosted glass tutorial moved to being full length podcast episodes, which is what you're seeing now potentially on YouTube. Next year, I want to expand what it is that I'm posting on YouTube, because I don't only want to post podcasts. The real challenge for me at the minute, and it's something that any mentor I've had when it comes to this content creation game and giving value to people, all my mentors have said, you need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, specifically in the sense of being vulnerable in terms of like showing your life. I think I'm quite good, or at least what I'm more comfortable with doing is giving tutorials, spreading information, trying to educate as best as I can, especially around design and the design world, because I didn't necessarily have access to these tools when I was coming up. So the more I can share information, I really don't like the fact that design and creative work can feel like a gated community, and I want to put as many people on as I can. Obviously, I believe in karma, what goes around comes around, but also I really feel fulfillment from giving value and through helping people. So that's what I'm trying to do. But in addition to that, I have been told that part of that job or part of that mission also comes with sharing my life a little bit. So expect me to do some vlogs next year. It also keeps me honest, because I think I'm quite good at working and, going to the studio, working from home, whatever it might be, but not necessarily going out and like doing things. So I want to do that a lot more, and I want to record it and make vlogs of it, because apparently that can help me in my creator journey, but also the whole getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, LeBron James's favorite saying. So yeah, vlogs next year, not only on YouTube, but also short form. Expect that next year as well. The YouTube will continue to kick on. I'm very comfortable with doing tutorials, so I might do a few of those as well, but mainly podcasts and vlogs, I would anticipate. This year I also launched a Substack. I post pretty sporadically. I started off trying to do twice a week. That very quickly went down to once a week. And at the time of recording this, I haven't posted for quite a few weeks now. It might be a couple of months. But I started it this year. I have got 7 subscribers. If you are listening or watching this, I appreciate you very much, all 7 of you. But the cool thing is that that's an infinite increase from 0. Everyone starts at 0 and progress is progress. I think I've got something like maybe 10 subscribers at the time of recording this video on YouTube. So again, like it's an infinite increase from where I started. So getting things off the ground, going from 0 to 1 is the most difficult thing. And I'm really happy that I've done that. And I just want to kick on and do whatever it is that I can do to offer value, which hopefully will be the force multiplier to get those numbers up. But the number that I've been focusing on is the percentage change, really. In terms of like a vanity metric, is the percentage change. Obviously, the thing that I love the most is hearing from people who are listening or consuming my content, all the comments and stuff. I try to reply to all of them. And, I do reply to all of them that have some kind of question or value. But what I mean is I try to reply quickly, but I do reply to all of them, and that really makes me happy because it's engaging with people, and it's a lot of people challenge me, and that's what I want as well. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I really understand what you're saying. Didn't think about it that way. Thank you. And I really want to be challenged in that way. So I appreciate all the comments as well. On Substack, not so many comments, but I do engage with other people's Substacks, and that's a way to get a bit of discussion going. So I'm just finding it's a good medium to get my ideas out there in a safe way and to hear from other people as well. For what it's worth, I think Substack is one of the best social media platforms out there. is phenomenal. So many intelligent people. So if you are interested in becoming more intellectually curious or feeding that intellectual curiosity, I'd recommend getting a Substack, writing on it for sure. I think creation is like the best thing that we can do as humans. I think just create whatever it is that you can. I was painting the other day and I really want to take that up more in 2026. So create as much as you can, but also consume on Substack because it's phenomenal. I was speaking about numbers earlier. I grew my TikTok over 800% from where I started. I kind of started a trend, I guess. I hadn't really seen anyone else do it. So full disclosure, one of my favorite creators, Oren John, his handle is Oren Meets World. He's the internet's creative director. And he has this series where it's, are you buying the product or are you buying the brand? And my whole niche, I suppose, is about design and creativity. So, I was thinking about the antithesis of that. And the antithesis of something which is creative, something which is intentional, is hype, just buying something for the hype rather than intentionally buying it. So I started this series, which is, are you buying the hype or are you buying the brand? Are you buying, I just molded both of them. Are you buying the hype or are you buying the design? So I started that in the summer and I was talking about Supreme a lot of the time because the Supreme drops just started happening. But I'd also talk about other brands. And then I did some longer form pieces on different runway collections and things. And they kind of took off. I think I'm on like 90K views on maybe 80K views on like one of the Supreme ones, which is really cool. I did a tutorial kind of thing on a Kendrick t-shirt that I mocked up at the start of the year, which also kind of went viral. Low-key viral. None of them have hit 6 figures yet. High 5 figures. And anyway, my following grew a lot. I managed to peak at 1,001 followers, and then people have unfollowed me at the time of recording. So now I'm just under 1,000 followers. It is what it is. The game is the game. But grew my TikTok over 800%, which is a lot of fun, a lot of learning there. And I admire all other creators. And I really appreciate everyone who rides with me. I grew my Instagram by over 80%, which was great as well. Similarly to TikTok, the content that grew the most was the content that grew the most on TikTok as well. It's been enjoyable posting content. I really enjoy making content and posting it. So yeah, grew my Instagram by over 80%. A lot of that was to do with trial reels as well, which has been like the buzzword on Instagram for a little while. But since edits has come out, it's become a lot easier to post regularly. So shout out to Instagram for democratizing video editing. For what it's worth, I grew my LinkedIn by 30%. I think that's more to do with career changes and the visibility that I get from that and the work that comes with that. And even the cesspit that is X grew by 61% in following, but I still think I'm on like 10 followers. So it's a bit of a misleading metric. Anyway, those are vanity metrics, but as I said, it's good to keep tabs on maybe like once a year to show that I'm moving somewhat in the right direction, that I'm growing as a creator. And I'm expecting, or you should expect me to give more value through education and entertainment across all platforms next year. That's the entire game. That's my entire goal. And if there's anything I can do to give more value, then that's what I want to do. And please let me know if there's anything in particular that you would like to see, because I will make it as soon as possible. Kind of side note, I restarted a radio show with my friend Stu. We met at university in Manchester a few years ago and we did a radio show there. I think we did maybe a dozen episodes across the year, but now we're doing an episode a week with Shoreditch Radio, which is so much fun. And we've just started making content with it as well, which is also a lot of fun. So yeah, if you haven't already, it's the handle is Stay with Stu and Jay. And our shows are on Mixcloud, although we're finding Mixcloud a little bit difficult at the minute. But right now we're trying to find the best 3-track run of all time, which is really exciting. Outside of social media and content and things, I've got a new job, which is pretty class. And I moved house, which is also great. Just life bits, what do you call it? Life milestones, I guess. And I think I won't go too much into that because it's personal information, but it goes to show the power of doing things by design and being intentional. I think there was a period where I was like, right, I wonder how much I can realistically do if I just set my mind to it properly for the next month or so. And it happened very quickly. Like within a few weeks, I was preparing to move out, and it's stayed the same. It's not like dipped or anything. It stayed the same, and I got a new job. And I just think I don't believe in the whole we all have the same 24 hours, because I don't think that's true. However, in my case, my 24 hours, there were a lot of those hours that were being wasted on things that weren't moving the needle. And Andy Frisella has this idea that is called the power list, where you write down 5 critical tasks of that day, and it needs to be needle moving tasks. So one of the tasks cannot be do the ironing, because even though that's potentially quite a hefty, heavy task and it needs to be done, it doesn't move the needle in terms of your life, in terms of where you want to go. Everyone loves crisp clothes, but that's not going to move the needle. What is going to move the needle is put out 20 CVs today, which is the kind of clip that I was going at. I was applying to jobs pretty rigorously, consistently trying to network. One of the needle moving tasks could be, if you're trying to break into the creative industries, to go to a Tate Lates, for example. Whatever it might be, you just need to be honest with yourself and do 5 of them. And if you get them all done in the morning, then that's great. You've kind of won the day. But it really set a standard for myself, and it's just amazing what we can get done in 24 hours. It's amazing. And I'm not saying that we all have the same 24, because we don't, I don't think. But I would challenge everyone to consider what those 24 hours are comprised of, and whether we are rinsing the most value for time out of those 24 hours as we can. And that was the kind of question I was asking myself. And it was amazing how quickly my life changed when I was being that intentional. And I've continued with that. So going into planning out the entire year, I like to plan things out to have different views of my time. This is something that I've taken with that power list as well. I've kind of used that in a different way. So if we look on the really macro scale to start off with, I'll go more into this next week when we're talking on New Year's Day. I think the episode next week comes out, although we've got one coming out on Saturday and one next Monday as well before that. But a 10-year plan is the macro vision, and the more micro these time periods become, the more specific we can be. So, for example, this isn't necessarily my 10-year plan, but a 10-year plan could be to be the creative globally, to be known as the creative person globally, and be running a business. I've made no mistake. My idol when it comes to creativity, if I had to pick one, is Virgil Abloh. And I think for a while, he was the creative guy in the world. If a company, a business, a brand wanted to become culturally relevant, they'd get Virgil on board. IKEA did it, Evian did it, Louis Vuitton did it. That's a conversation for another day regarding Louis Vuitton. But all of these brands did it. And that could be, I'm not saying it is, that could be where I want to get to in the next 10 years. But again, this plan, these visions become increasingly vague as the time horizon increases. So that's the biggest time horizon, is quite vague. Be the creative in the world. So then the year plan, you can break that up into chunks. So then this year, what do I need to do to take a step or a year-long step in that direction? So for me, it could be grow following across all the digital touch points, supplemented by quarterly touch points in real life. Potentially every quarter, give a talk at an educational institution or something. That could be something that I do. So I'm across all digital touch points, but also I'm in person. Maybe I'll write a book over the next 5 years. I don't know. And then that way you can do a book tour and you can meet people in real life. I don't know. I haven't planned this out properly. That's going to happen over the next week or so. And I can fill you in next week. Quarterly plan. That would be specific methods of how to get there, how to grow the digital touch points. It's not necessarily going to be, I need to grow it by this amount, but it will be on a daily basis. What input am I doing to give myself the best opportunity of getting the output that I want. We can't control the outputs, we can only control the inputs. So what inputs am I doing to give myself the best chance of getting these outputs? And I think this is where honesty is really important. Everyone knows in the content game, for example, everyone knows if you hit a banger of a video or a piece of content that everyone loves, keep doing that same format, rinse and repeat until it fades. But for me anyway, I love novelty and I love to kind of try different things. And also, I don't want to keep repeating the same thing, but a good piece of advice is that you will get bored way before the audience will. A lot of my videos, like 90% of the viewers don't follow me. So they probably haven't seen that content before. And when you think about it like that, even though I'm getting bored of content, other people may not be. So it's not about my ego. It's about what it is that I need to do to get to where it is that I want to get to. And if that's making content that I've made before, but just remixing it in a different way, then it has to be that way. Hormozy talks about how Dave Ramsey has essentially been saying, spend less than what you earn for the past 40 years and has made a career out of it when he speaks to people. So it's kind of like the methods are many, but the principles are few. If the principle of my video is whatever it is, be intentional with design, there are many methods to give that same message, but I can't be bored of that intrinsic message. I need to keep going. Monthly plan, it gets more specific still. Okay, so that's when I'm mapping out content, using this example for content. Monthly plan, okay, so mapping out content, scripting it, looking at what's trending, looking at what's working, looking at what people are searching for, looking at what people enjoy talking about, speaking to people in real life, and then teasing out little bits of content, little bits of value from those conversations. And then the daily plan becomes even more specific, but it's specific to the extent of what I was saying before. That's power list. What 5 actions can I take today to really move the needle? Can I record 10 videos today? Even if I don't edit them today, can I record 10 videos so they're there so I can be editing them on the move? All I need is a laptop, or really with edits, all I need is my phone, you know? Hormozy encourages splitting days into 15-minute increments. I think that's a bit extreme, but my calendar is my best friend. I'm blocking out time. And a year-long calendar is great for an overall outlook. I did have one on my wall where I could just see my whole year there, and it was planned out for me. I think it's useful in an office space or wherever your desk is, wherever you work normally, to have a year-long calendar, but then to carry around some kind of daily calendar as well. So phone, Google Calendar is perfectly acceptable. I'm not one of these guys who are like, you need to go analog or you need to go digital. Use whatever works for you. I tend to go digital because it's easy to share invites with people and it's all in one place. You can combine a bunch of calendars, but use whatever works for you. But the overall point is that it's great to quantify progress because that way we get some objectivity. So when we're talking about percentage growth of followers on digital platforms, or how much work it is I've done and what platforms I've started on or whatever, but also looking at how many times I've ticked off tasks, how many times I've won the day by completing all 5 tasks. Andy Frisella says you should write a massive W on the page if you complete all 5 critical tasks and write a massive L if you haven't. And then all your day is, you're just trying to stack W's. That's all it is. But a lot of the time, even if I write a massive L, I've done way more that day than I would have if I hadn't used the power list at all. It's literally one of the best productivity tools and it's so simple. But it's less good to focus on the raw data. Growth is far more important. This is what encourages a growth mindset. It's important to look at the growth metrics and to ensure that you're constantly growing and that I'm constantly growing. That's what's important to me. The raw numbers are just a point of departure to receive that percentage of growth. And that's what's important to me. So those are just a few things in terms of looking back at this year. It's been a really good year. There's been a lot of learning in 2025, a lot of learning, a lot of growing, a lot of changing. And I'm looking forward to 2026, to be honest. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. World Cup is in 2026 as well, which will be great. Audacious call. Heard it here first, folks. England's going to win it. It's England's to win. England's going to win World Cup 2026. Thomas Tuchel is going to win the World Cup for England, their first one in exactly 60 years. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then all I can do is control the inputs and hopefully the score will take care of itself. And that's it. Thank you very much for listening. I would hope, to be honest, that you're not listening on Christmas Day, but if you are, thank you so much for spending almost half an hour with me on Christmas Day. I hope you've had a great Christmas. I hope you have a great New Year, and I hope you found this useful. If you did, please share it with someone else that you think would also find it useful. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you are subscribed, you follow if you're on Spotify, and you leave it a 5-star review. I'd really, really appreciate that. And without further ado, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you on the next one.